Hello, my name is Andrew DeVito, and today I'm going to tell you about a learning theory called constructivism. If we look at the root word of constructivism, to construct means to build or erect, and in the case of learning theories, constructivism refers to building new knowledge. Specifically, constructivism is a learning theory which equates learning with creating meaning from experience. In layman's terms, students actively interact with a problem or concept to construct or build knowledge rather than passively receive it. When a learner receives an input of information, it can evolve, negate, or reconcile previous understandings. In any case, new knowledge is constructed. A designer of a web-based learning tool should consider the constructivist learning theory when designing an interactive, hands-on, web-based learning tool. Applying constructivism learning theory to web-based learning tools, we can infer that tools which allow the learner to actively interact with an open-ended question will promote or strengthen understandings related to a topic. This is especially true if the web-based learning tool can build on background knowledge by targeting real-world problem solving. In the next few slides, I'm going to provide you with two concrete examples of the constructivist learning theory in practice within web-based learning tools. These two examples are Gizmo and Practical Action, respectively. Gizmo are structured and focused on specific concepts, and they allow learners to actively interact with an open-ended question to build knowledge rather than passively receive it. The example I provided here is of a cell gizmo, which allows students to actively interact with a cell under a microscope and explore the various components of the cell. If you wish to explore this gizmo further, I have provided a link to it below. The second example is of a website called Practical Action, which challenges students to use real-world problem solving to promote collaboration and create a solution. This particular example has students working together to design an apparatus to help farmers in Nepal lower their tomatoes down a mountain face. If you would like to explore this activity or others offered by Practical Action, I've provided a link below. Now, based on all of this information and the examples I've provided, if you decide that you would like to utilize constructivism to design a web-based learning tool, I provided 5 guidelines in the form of a checklist for you to follow. Guideline 1. The problems posed to students must be relevant to their backgrounds and lives. This will help to engage the students by capturing their interests and will make the learning more meaningful. Guideline 2. Learning should be structured around primary concepts. Traditionally, learners are taught the parts of a concept to build a whole. Constructivism promotes meaning-making by encouraging students to break down a larger concept into its individual parts. This approach helps to contextualize the information and allows the learner to build new knowledge. Guideline 3. Students' points of view are valuable and should be considered. Affording students the opportunity to elaborate and explain their points of view will help them to understand what they are learning. Using open-ended, non-judgmental questioning and having students provide reasoning will ease students into a constructivist learning environment. Guideline 4. Developmentally appropriate lessons and topics are more engaging to learners and a good starting point to address student suppositions. From here, the educator should gauge student perceptions and ways of learning to evolve the lesson to meet the learner's beliefs or questions. An instructor should determine what facet of a lesson students find most beneficial and evolve future lessons accordingly. And finally, Guideline 5. Assess student learning in the context of teaching by switching from assessment of learning to assessment for learning. This will benefit the learner because instead of assessing how a student performs, they are being assessed on what they need to be successful. The use of authentic assessment, which is related to the concerns of the learners, will result in a greater mastery of concepts. Thank you so much for watching my video. Until next time.